I still remember the morning I found the email. At first, it looked like another advertisement. I almost deleted it without opening it, but the subject line caught my attention. Payment confirmation, past due balance updated. I frowned. We didn't have any loans that I knew about. At least, that's what I believed. My name is Emily. I'm 36 years old, and I live in Ohio. My husband, Ryan, and I had been married for 11 years. We had one daughter, Sophie, and what I thought was an ordinary life. Ryan always handled our finances. It wasn't because he forced me to. It simply became our routine. I worked as a graphic designer from home while taking care of Sophie. Ryan worked in commercial construction. Whenever I asked about bills or savings, he would smile and say, "I've got it covered." I trusted him. Trust can feel comfortable, sometimes too comfortable. For the last 2 years, life had become tighter financially. Ryan blamed inflation. The grocery bill is crazy. Our insurance went up. Everything costs more now. Those explanations sounded reasonable, so I adjusted. I canceled streaming services. I stopped buying coffee on my way to work. I bought fewer clothes. I skipped girls' weekends. Every dollar seemed important. Ryan said we were simply being responsible. Then, strange things started happening. Our credit card was declined at a restaurant. Ryan laughed it off. Bank security issue. A few weeks later, we received another notice in the mail. He grabbed it before I could read it. "I'll take care of it." Again, I believed him. Marriage is built on trust. Or at least, I thought it was. One Saturday afternoon, Ryan left his laptop open while he ran outside to help our neighbor move a grill. I wasn't snooping. I only wanted to print Sophie's school permission slip. His email was already open. That's when I saw dozens of messages from companies I didn't recognize. Debt recovery services, credit solutions, payment reminder, final notice. My heart started beating faster. Maybe they were spam. I clicked one. It wasn't spam. The email addressed Ryan by name. His balance was over $23,000. I opened another, then another. Different lenders, different credit cards, personal loans, late fees, collections. My hands started shaking. I wasn't looking at one mistake. I was looking at years of hidden debt. I quietly closed the laptop before Ryan came back inside. That evening, I watched him laugh with Sophie while helping her build a puzzle. He looked exactly like the man I'd trusted for more than a decade. But suddenly, I realized something. I didn't know the financial life of the man sitting across from me. That night, I barely slept. The next morning, I opened our mailbox before Ryan woke up. There was another envelope. This time, I didn't leave it on the counter. I opened it. It was a notice from a collection agency warning about possible legal action. The amount was even larger. I waited until Sophie left for school. Then I placed both the envelope and a printed copy of the emails on the kitchen table. Ryan walked in carrying his coffee. He froze. Neither of us spoke. Finally, he sighed. "I was going to tell you." "When?" He looked away. "I don't know." I kept my voice calm. "How much?" He rubbed his forehead. "I honestly don't know anymore. Those words hurt more than the debt itself." "You don't know?" "I kept borrowing to pay old loans." "Why?" "I thought I could catch up." He admitted he had opened several credit cards without telling me. He had taken personal loans. He had refinanced one debt with another. Every time things got worse, he hid it. "I didn't want you to worry." I looked around our kitchen, the same kitchen where we'd celebrated birthdays, made Christmas cookies, helped Sophie with homework. Suddenly it felt unfamiliar. What about our savings? Ryan was silent. I already knew the answer. They're gone. I closed my eyes. Years of careful budgeting, years of skipped vacations, years of saying no to small joys. Gone. Not because life had been unfair, because the truth had been hidden. Ryan reached for my hand. "I can fix this." I gently moved my hand away. I don't need promises. I need honesty. For the first time in our marriage, I asked to see every account, every loan, every statement, every balance. Ryan hesitated. That hesitation told me there was still more I didn't know. And then he whispered the sentence that changed everything. There are accounts I don't think you know exist. Ryan's words stayed in the air. There are accounts I don't think you know exist. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cry. I simply looked at him and said, "Then today is the day I learn everything." For the next 3 hours, we sat at the kitchen table with his laptop open. One by one, he logged into every account. There were 4 credit cards, 2 personal loans, a line of credit, and a retirement account that had been nearly emptied months earlier. Every login felt like another chapter of a story I had never been allowed to read. The total debt was more than $87,000. I stared at the screen, trying to understand how we had reached this point without me knowing. "What did you spend it on?" I asked quietly. Ryan shook his head, mostly trying to stay afloat. He showed me months when work had slowed down. Instead of telling me, he borrowed money to keep paying the bills. Then he borrowed again to make payments on the first loans. When unexpected expenses came up, he used credit cards. The cycle never stopped. "What about the vacations?" I asked. They were mostly paid with credit. "The new truck?" He looked down. "Loan. The Christmas gifts?" Credit cards. None of it had been about luxury. It had been about pretending everything was normal, and pretending had become expensive. That afternoon, I took a long walk by myself. I wasn't deciding whether to leave my marriage. I was deciding whether I could ever rebuild trust. Debt can be repaid. Trust is different. When I came home, Ryan was sitting exactly where I had left him. "I'll do whatever it takes," he said. For the first time, I replied, "I believe you mean that," but meaning it isn't enough anymore. The next morning, I opened a checking account in my own name, not because I wanted to hide money, because I needed financial independence. For years, I had allowed someone else to carry every financial responsibility. That wasn't partnership. That was dependence. I also scheduled appointments with a financial counselor and an attorney. The attorney wasn't there to prepare divorce papers. She explained my legal rights, reviewed our financial situation, and helped me understand what protections I should have moving forward. Walking into that office didn't mean I had given up. It meant I had stopped living in the dark. Ryan agreed to something I never thought he would. Complete transparency. Every account, every paycheck, every expense, every month. No exceptions. We built a budget together instead of letting him manage everything alone. We canceled subscriptions we didn't need. Sold the truck. Used the money to pay down one of the largest loans. I picked up a few additional freelance design clients, not because Ryan asked me to, because I wanted to strengthen my own financial future. For the first time in years, I knew exactly how much money we had, how much we owed, and where every dollar was going. The numbers weren't pretty, but they were honest. Months passed, then a year. Our debt slowly became smaller. Some weeks felt discouraging, other weeks felt hopeful. The biggest change wasn't our bank balance, it was our conversations. Ryan no longer said, "I've got it covered." Instead, he would ask, "Can we look at this together?" That one sentence meant more than he probably realized. Marriage isn't about one person carrying the weight. It's about 2 people facing the truth together. One evening, Sophie asked why we hadn't taken a vacation in a while. Ryan smiled and answered honestly, "We're working toward some important family goals." She nodded and went back to coloring. Children don't need perfect parents. They need honest ones. Looking back, I realized the hidden debt wasn't the deepest wound. The secrecy was. If Ryan had told me the truth when the first bills became difficult, we could have solved the problem together. Instead, fear convinced him that silence was protection. But silence protected nothing. It only made the problem bigger. People often ask if I regret staying. My answer surprises them. I don't regret staying, and I wouldn't regret leaving either. Because the most important decision I made wasn't about my marriage. It was about myself. I stopped confusing trust with blind faith. I learned that love should never require ignorance. Today, I know every account we own, every payment we make, every financial goal we share. Not because I don't trust my husband. Because healthy trust doesn't hide behind closed doors. It stands in the light. If our marriage had ended, I would have been okay. If it survived, it would only survive with honesty. Either way, I refused to lose myself again. That became my calm comeback. Not revenge, not anger, just quiet boundaries that protected my peace. And those boundaries changed both of us more than any argument ever could. If this story touched you, please comment and subscribe. I have one question for you. Do you believe complete financial honesty is essential in a marriage? Let me know your answer below.